Hey everybody, Zach Barnett here with Zach Barnett Guitar. So I opened with Every Breath You Take by The Police, not so much to do a cover as much as it was to maybe highlight something. So when I was starting to play the guitar, I always loved Every Breath You Take. I always thought it was cool. It sounded really cool. And when I was first starting out, I was like, that doesn't seem too hard. I bet I could play that. And I realized that those add 9 chords, especially when it moves down to this second fret here, they're a big stretch. And for a while, I didn't think my hands were suited to play Every Breath You Take. And even more so, for a minute, I wasn't sure if my hands could play the guitar at all. So it's funny because I've heard a lot of people, when I've brought up that I play the guitar, they've mentioned, oh, I started playing the guitar, but my hands are not suited to play the guitar. They just don't do it right, or they're too big, or they're too small, or they're too fat, or what have you. I feel like that is the most common reason why I've heard people give up on the guitar is their hands. And I wanted to make a video because I think this is really important, that your hands can play the guitar. And like I showed you there, I wasn't perfect at Every Breath You Take, but I can play it now. And if there are things that you feel like you simply can't play right now, well, this video is for you, to give you encouragement that your hands can play the guitar. So I've got 5 reasons, one for every finger, that your hands are suited to play the guitar. So let's start with number 1. So the first reason number 1 why your hands can play the guitar, if you're a beginner, it seems like beginners are the guitarists who are the ones who complain the most about their hands. And I think the big reason for this is what you're playing on the guitar is completely new for your hands. Your hands are not used to what they need to do on the guitar. So they're going to feel awkward. They're going to feel out of place. They're going to feel like your fingers are not cooperating with you, that some of your fingers just don't do anything useful. I think everybody feels that way at first. So reason number 1 is your hands are not used to what the guitar is requiring of them. So keep practicing. Don't give up. Try starting out with things that you can do. Some bar chords, like I remember an F, playing an F, that was another one that felt like, man, you got to have crazy hands to be able to play an F chord. And that's just not the case. You can have regular hands and play an F just fine. So that's reason number 1. Your hands are not used to what you're asking them to do right now. Reason number 2. So another reason is your guitar setup. Your setup might not be very good. So if your action, or how far your strings are above the fretboard, if that distance is really high, it's going to be really tough to push down the strings. And especially if you're using really heavy gauge strings, I for one like 9s or sometimes 8s on my guitar, which are really light. I know not everybody likes that, but I personally really do like 9s. And that kind of helped me out too, where it made it a lot easier to play. I like the sound of 9s for 1 too. That's another reason why I picked them. But they suit my hands really well too, so it makes it easier to play. So I would say reason number 2 that your hands can play the guitar is maybe you're playing on something that has a poor setup. So try getting a setup that's more suited for your guitar. Get that action down, maybe change strings to ones that are more comfortable for you to play, and see how that changes your abilities to play. So reason number 3, this one I might call you out just for a minute on, and this one's probably you have a bad attitude. So if you're constantly thinking, I can't do this or I can't do that, of course you're going to feel limited. And I found it interesting because the young students who are learning the guitar, like 10 years old, 12 years old, that still have a lot of growing to do, the people that have the best excuse that their hands are not suited to play the guitar because they're still quite small, they're not the people that I hear complaining about it. And the interesting thing about that, I was thinking about that, and the reason I think that's the case is they're looking at what they can do on the guitar. Even if it's just playing on one string, like Mary Had a Little Lamb or something, they get excited and they know that they can play even if what they're playing is simple for now. So what I would tell you for now is focus on what you can play on the guitar. You may not be able to play, like I said, like those add 9 chords. I certainly couldn't at first. Or maybe a bar chord. Those were tough for me at first too. Your hands are going to start changing and they're going to have more of an ability to play the things that were more difficult for you to play at first. So be patient with yourself. Change your attitude to focus on what you can play on the guitar for right now, and your hands are going to catch up. Okay, reason number 4. Your hands are going to change and they're going to stretch. So if we look at this hand, this is my picking hand, and I'm going to show you compared to my fretting hand. I'm going to put these and stretch them out as far as they can stretch right next to each other. And you're going to see my fretting hand has like an extra finger's length on my picking hand because it's had to stretch for chords. Over the years that I've been playing, that hand has changed to be able to do more than it used to be able to do. And that's going to be the same for you too. If you can't do something right now, don't give up on your hands because they're going to adapt. They're going to be able to stretch. They're going to change. They're going to get more used to playing different things. So not only are your hands going to grow and stretch, but they're going to get used to playing the guitar in different ways too. You're going to get calluses, as an example, on your fingers, where it's going to be easier to fret. It's not going to hurt so much anymore, especially if you're playing acoustic. You're going to get more used to barring different chords and what that feels like. You're going to get more used to your fingers coordinating with your other hand. All of that takes a lot of time and practice and patience, but your hands can do it, and you're going to notice that they're going to get a lot better as you go. So reason number 5, you are not a trailblazer, and I mean that in you're not unique. You're not the first person to feel like your hands are not suited to play the guitar. That seems like something that most every guitarist seems to go through at the beginning of their journey. So don't give up on yourself is what I would say. There are people who have been there that have turned into amazing guitarists that can look back and say, yeah, my hands are just fine. And your hands are just fine too, so don't give up on yourself. Okay, if you have any additional thoughts on this, please feel free to leave them in the comments. We're all here to help each other out on our own guitar journeys and help each other to discover the music that's already inside of us. So until next time, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later.